You ever find yourself driving in a completely new city and your GPS is like absolutely convinced you need to turn left into a literal brick wall?
Oh, yeah. And you just stare at the screen like, wait, is the map broken or am I crazy?
Right, exactly. You have this intense moment of cognitive dissonance where you have to choose. Do you trust the old map or do you trust reality?
You have to make a choice. And most people, they stick with the map way longer than they should.
They really do. And honestly, that choice is the exact focus of today's deep dive. Welcome to episode 1 of 6 in our Cashflow Visionaries series. Today we're dismantling the retirement trap. Why trading 40 hours a week for 40 years to live on 40% of your income is completely broken under modern inflation.
It's completely broken. And for this deep dive, we're pulling directly from the Cashflow Visionaries master presentation, their official manifesto, and their internal compliance document.
All the foundational stuff.
Exactly. And our mission today is to fundamentally shift how you, the listener, understand value creation. We're going to look really closely at currency circulation and a massive perspective shift regarding what a network actually is.
Yeah. And before we get rolling on that, I want to speak directly to you listening right now about the tone of this deep dive. We are grounding this entirely in moral clarity and family security.
Right, absolutely.
There is zero hype here today. Like no get-rich-quick noise, no aggressive sales pitches.
Yeah.
But to get anything out of this, mindset is everything.
It really is the whole game.
Yeah, you have to bring a genuine desire to learn. You have to be willing to look at how cash flow is generated in a completely different way. Oh. And honestly, you have to completely let go of 40-year-old financial assumptions.
Because, the economic ground has completely shifted beneath our feet. We don't need to spend 10 minutes talking about the price of eggs.
No, please let's not.
Right. If you're listening, you already know inflation vastly outstrips wage growth. And legacy bank savings accounts, they're paying, a fraction of a percent?
If you're lucky.
Yeah, exactly. The math is running backward. It's really that simple. Back in the 90s, maybe a legacy savings account outpaced the cost of living, but today, not a chance.
Right. The reality of inflation is obvious to anyone buying groceries.
Yeah.
But I think the more interesting question is why the whole traditional model broke in the first place.
Well, the model broke because we transitioned from an industry economy to a platform economy. The sources actually explain this beautifully.
Okay, break that down for us.
So the old industry economy was built on physical production, right? On location and on linear limitation, meaning your value was strictly tied to trading your physical time for a fixed wage at a physical place.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because if value used to be tied to, punching a clock at a physical factory, does that mean our traditional legacy banks were essentially just built as digital vaults to store our linear labor?
That is exactly what they were built for. They were built as storehouses for a physical linear world. You trade physical labor for a physical check, you walk it into a physical bank, and it sits there in a static vault. But we don't live in that world anymore.
Right.
Today, we operate in the platform economy. This new environment isn't built on physical location. It's built on active participation, digital connection, and network expansion.
Okay, so if the environment has entirely changed like that, does that mean our fundamental definition of money has to evolve with it?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Think about the word itself, currency.
Currency, yeah.
It derives from the word current, like a river. It was designed to move. It was engineered to circulate.
Not just sit there.
Exactly. It was never meant to sit stagnant and slowly erode in legacy bank accounts.
Well,
the sources deliver this core thesis with absolute conviction, and it's something you really need to internalize. Vision without cash flow is just a dream.
Vision without cash flow is just a dream. That is powerful.
It really is.
So we have to rethink how money moves entirely. But if legacy banks are these static vaults, how are they handling the movement of this new digital economy?
Poorly. Very poorly. And this is where we have to look at the mechanics of the system. Legacy banking is essentially a horse and buggy system. Actually, think of legacy banking like a post office.
Okay, a post office. I can picture that.
Right. So when you want to move money globally, or even just across different financial institutions, your money is like a physical letter. It has to be sorted, stamped, and put on a truck.
Ugh, the bureaucracy.
Exactly. In banking terms, it has to go through clearinghouses, correspondent banks, SWIFT codes. It takes 3 to 5 days to clear. And the worst part...
Let me guess. The fees.
Yep. Every single middleman takes a few cents out of your envelope as a fee. It's slow, it's centralized, and it just extracts value from you at every single step.
So we're basically trying to force digital movement through an analog post office. But the presentation talks a lot about Web3 blockchain rails. How is that mechanically different from the post office?
Web3 rails are like sending a text message.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. The protocol just verifies you have the data, which in this case is the capital, and instantly beams it to the recipient. No trucks, no centralized middlemen taking a cut, no 3-day clearing times.
That's incredible.
It allows value to move peer-to-peer globally in a matter of seconds. It acts like instant digital teleportation.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So it's like keeping money in a traditional bank is like maintaining this stagnant pond in your backyard that just gathers algae and evaporates.
Right, through inflation and fees.
Exactly. While circulating currency on Web3 rails is like having a flowing river generating hydroelectric power. The current just keeps flowing instantly.
What's fascinating here is that this digital finance reality is already here. It's not science fiction. We just need the awareness to recognize it before confusion becomes the default state for people.
But this brings up a massive question. If value can now teleport instantly, that old question we are all taught to ask, like where's the money? Meaning where's the physical building I can go trade my time at? That question is dead.
It is entirely obsolete. The new question is, how do I create cash flow?
Okay, let's unpack this too. Because if I am listening right now, I'm an everyday person.
Right.
I don't own the tech infrastructure. I don't have a massive server farm in my basement. I don't know how to code a blockchain. So how do I personally generate this flow?
Well, the answer lies in what the sources call people networking. And to understand it, look at the familiar examples the presentation provides. Think about Uber, Airbnb, PayPal.
Yeah.
Uber didn't buy a massive fleet of cars. Airbnb didn't, pour concrete to build hotels. What did they do?
They built digital toll roads. They built platforms that just connected people.
Exactly. The real power wasn't in owning the physical assets. The power was in who the platform connected and how people participated.
I see.
In a platform economy, human connection and the network effect are the primary assets. Every new connection makes the network stronger, more useful, and frankly, more valuable.
Okay, hold on. I need to jump in here because here's where it gets really interesting. You threw out Web3 rails earlier, and now we are talking about human connection and the network effect.
Yeah.
I am looking at the manifesto, and it talks about leveraging your network and this concept of community compounding. It shows this sequence. One person learns, they connect with 3 people, connect with 9, then 27, then 81.
Right, the compounding effect.
Yeah, but I have to push back hard here. Because when people hear those numbers, 3 to 9 to 27, their radar immediately goes off. Isn't this just a multi-level marketing scheme, like a pyramid scheme?
I am so glad you brought that up because the compliance guardrails on this are incredibly strict, and we need to be crystal clear on the mechanics.
Please do.
This is not affiliate marketing. It is not fee recruitment. And it is absolutely not an MLM or a pyramid scheme.
Okay, but in an MLM, I make money by recruiting people to recruit people. How is community compounding mechanically any different from that? Break down the actual difference for me. Where does the money actually come from if there is no product?
Okay, let's look at the mechanics. Think about how a traditional MLM operates. It relies on pushing stagnant physical inventory down a chain of recruits just to hit arbitrary quotas.
Right.
People end up with a garage full of expensive lotions or shakes that can't sell, right? The revenue only exists if someone consumes a highly marked up physical commodity.
Right. It relies on forced consumption of stuff people don't even want.
Exactly. This movement is fundamentally different because it operates on Web3 platform rails using automated revenue sharing. You are acting as an active prosumer.
Prosumer. So producing and consuming simultaneously. But again, producing and consuming what exactly?
Data and network value. Think about how Facebook makes money.
Okay.
You invite 3 friends, they join, Facebook shows them ads, and Facebook keeps 100% of the ad revenue. You did the labor of building their network, and they kept all the profit.
Wow. Yeah, they totally do.
In a Web3 automated revenue sharing model, the platform uses a smart contract.
And a smart contract is just an unchangeable piece of code, right?
Correct. It's like a digital vending machine. The code basically says, because you brought these 3 people to the network and they brought value to the ecosystem, a percentage of the digital value they generate automatically routes to your digital wallet.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's no physical lotion to sell. You're just getting a cut of the digital data economy that you helped build.
Wow. Okay, that actually clarifies it completely.
Yeah.
You aren't creating a new artificial behavior like buying a ton of inventory or pushing physical products on your family.
No, not at all.
You are simply taking the digital value your relationships already generate, the value you create every day on apps like Spotify or Venmo or massive social media platforms, and you are redirecting it.
Exactly.
Because right now, tech monopolies hoard all the value of your network. This model takes that exact same value and redirects it back into your aligned community.
Precisely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it changes everything about how you approach your network, which is why the mechanism here is based on shared understanding, not quotas. You aren't trying to sell anyone anything. You're trying to help them understand that their attention and their network are currently being harvested for free.
Okay, so understanding the theory is one thing, but if the mechanism is about redirecting this digital value through understanding, how do we actually build it?
Right, the practical side.
Yeah, because the presentation mentions a cash flow circulation blueprint.
Yeah.
What is the actual strategy here? Because if it's not an MLM, I assume my first step isn't just spamming everyone in my phone contacts.
Oh, definitely not. In fact, that is the exact opposite of the blueprint. The core directive from the sources is, quote, go deep, not merely wide.
Go deep.
Yeah. Hype and spamming strangers do not work here. The visionaries are very clear. We do not chase hype. We build by strengthening real connections.
I actually have the presentation open right here, and it specifically says, quote, network does not mean noise. Network means meaningful relationships connected through shared awareness.
Yes, exactly. The cash flow circulation blueprint relies on 3 core steps: connect, activate, duplicate.
Connect, activate, duplicate.
Right, but it starts with how you connect. You must connect your existing networks, your family, your friends, your ministries, your community organizations. You connect them through shared financial awareness. Depth creates trust. Trust creates movement, and movement creates impact.
So what does this all mean? Like, can you break that down mechanically?
Yeah.
What does it look like in real life to connect through shared financial awareness instead of just pitching someone?
It means sitting down with a family member and saying, hey, we are both working 40 hours a week, and our savings are losing purchasing power every single month.
A real conversation.
Exactly. You say, I found a deep dive on how the platform economy actually works and how Web3 rails allow us to capture the value we normally give to big tech for free. Let's look at this together.
You're building a foundation of education first.
Completely. It's community compounding, where one person helps another person understand the structural reality of the economy. Because once you truly see that the 40-year model is broken, the primary goal stops being pressure and becomes clarity. We have to transition from being confused spectators to intentional participants.
The sources actually ask these incredible rhetorical questions about this exact moment.
Yeah.
They say, once you truly see that the old model is broken, how could you not want to understand this?
Right.
How could you not want to participate? How could you not share this with someone you love? It stops being a sales pitch and becomes like a rescue mission.
Exactly. Before money moves, cash flow needs to be understood. Financial awareness is no longer optional in this new environment. I mean, if you don't understand the rails, you can't capture the current.
But, as the sources point out, you cannot fully grasp or execute this connect, activate, duplicate process from the outside looking in.
No, you really can't.
You can't just nod along to a deep dive. You have to step onto the platform. So what is the literal first step today for the person listening to this right now?
The very first step, the gateway, is to join the free school community.
And this is completely free.
100% free. It's where you access the foundational awareness. Inside the free tier, you get the Cashflow Visionaries Manifesto, the Cashflow Circulation Blueprint, and the community-powered Residual Income course.
That is a ton of value just to start.
It is entirely about building that baseline education and shared understanding before you make a single move. You need to understand how these smart contracts work and how the blueprint functions in reality.
Right.
But there's a final step for those ready to take intentional action, and that is upgrading to the premium school membership.
Right, becoming an official Cashflow Visionary. And that upgrade is $50 a year.
Yeah.
But, and this is a critical, massive compliance guardrail that we have to enforce right here, so listen closely, that $50 fee itself is not the cash flow generator.
I cannot stress that enough. The $50 is strictly an annual educational pass.
Right.
It pays for the maintenance of the platform infrastructure, the continuous education, and mastering the solution. It does not generate or pay out cash flow.
So just to put a fine point on it, where does the cash flow actually come from once you are in?
The cash flow is generated purely through your active participation on the Web3 network rails. It comes from the automated revenue sharing, your digital connections, and your network activity as an active prosumer that we discussed earlier.
So the education empowers the action.
Exactly. Upgrading to premium simply unlocks the solution and activates the earn while you learn environment so you can actually participate on those rails and start capturing that digital value.
It basically takes you from reading about the blueprint to actually executing it in a live environment.
Beautifully said. You are moving from the old map to the new reality. This raises an important question, though, for everyone listening, and I want you to really mull this over as you go about your day.
Let's hear it.
You already freely give away your networking power every single day. Every time you train an algorithm with your attention, every time you refer a friend to a massive social media app, every time you send a payment on a centralized app, you are generating massive data value.
It's true. We all do it.
Right. If big tech can build trillion-dollar empires simply by harvesting the connections you make for free, what would happen if you decided to permanently revoke their access to your network's value and started keeping that current circulating within your own family's ecosystem instead?
That is the ultimate paradigm shift. You don't have to follow the old map anymore. When the GPS tells you to drive into a brick wall of 40 years of stagnant wages, you have the power to look up, understand the mechanisms of reality for what they are, and choose a completely new road.